can see we've gone with a bit of a heritage retro theme with all the jumpers in the background, and we hit the storeroom yesterday, found one of the old state blazers from downstairs. I've got Ray Montgomery's tie, still got his tag on it. We also found that downstairs. So, of course, we're doing this because we're having our last Waffle Grand Final at this great stadium, and tagged around grand final memories and my Waffle moments and those types of things. So it's an exciting sort of time. We're looking forward to this exciting AHG Waffle Final Series. Special thanks to our major partner McDonald's and supporting partners AHG, Kennards, Rewa.com and Tab Touch. Thanks to Channel 7, our print, radio and online media partners. Your support's also greatly appreciated. Congratulations to the Waffle clubs that have qualified for finals. The great thing is all 9 clubs have a team in the final series, which is fantastic for the competition. This year's finals culminate with the last ever grand final at Domain Stadium. And to tell us a bit more about the significance of this event, I'd like to invite the WAFC CEO, Gav Taylor.
Thanks, Cam, and welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited to be here today as we launch what will be one of the most exciting grand final series on record for the Waffle. In 1908, East Perth versus Subi was the first game ever conducted at Subiaco Oval, and this year every team that's participating in the finals gets to not only create history by winning the Waffle Grand Final, but they'll create history by winning the last ever Waffle Grand Final at Domain Stadium or Subiaco Oval. So if you didn't think the pressure was on before, gents, you've got a little bit more to play for, because you will be going down as being truly remembered as that last premiership team. I'd like to acknowledge all the clubs that have made it through to the final series. It's a collective effort of the coaches, the players, the administrators, the presidents and the volunteers, and look forward to seeing how you go across what should be an extremely exciting final series. To Subiaco, Coach Jared Schofield and Kyle Horsley, been the team to beat all season. You've been clinical in your display of how you've gone about conducting yourself on the field, and you obviously have a real opportunity to not only have played the first game back in 1908, but to actually recreate history by being the premiers in 2017. To South Fremantle, led by Coach Todd Curley and Captain Ryan Cook. Sure you guys are going to be hungry after not making the grand final last year. Have been the only team that have actually beaten Subiaco this year and are shaping as one of the favourites heading into the final series. To Peel Thunder, Coach Cam Shepherd and Captain Gerard Ugle. There's a lot of excitement down there as you look forward to going back to back. Can you repeat and create history and really engage that whole Mandurah community in creating something absolutely special if you achieve that back-to-back success? To Swan Districts, to Coach Greg Harding and to Captain Talon Ames. Greg, in your final year as coach, I'm sure that gives you a little bit of extra incentive, and I know that your players will be playing for you. And can you get the black and whites up to create your own piece of history? And finally, to West Perth, Coach Bill Monaghan and Captain Jay Van Berlo. A really exciting win last week, and I'm sure you're looking forward to taking that finals form forward and seeing how far you can actually go through the final series. So all the very best. As I said, this will be the last Waffle Grand Final at Subiaco Oval. We were going to ensure that it actually goes down as one of the all-time great events. We're looking at making it a significant event and paying our true respects to the part that Subiaco has played in supporting and developing Waffle over the many, many years that it's actually been played here. We're celebrating with half-price tickets for fans to get along. Children that are under 16 are free, and there's going to be a whole range of entertainment as we look to really celebrate what should be a memorable event. We'll be showcasing our legends, our Sandover medalists, our Simpson medalists, our Hall of Famers, and giving current day fans of football a real chance to see the previous legends of our game live. There'll be our post-game kick-to-kick. We're encouraging fans to wear their favourite Waffle jumper as they come along to the ground. We're having a commemorative football budget, which will be a collector's edition. And importantly, we've got our $3 pies back again to get our fans fed on the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to having an extremely exciting final series. To all of the Waffle clubs that are participating in the final series at a league level, I wish you all the best. It's a fantastic, as Cam alluded to, that we've got all 9 Waffle clubs that are playing in the Waffle final series across all levels of the game. And finally, good luck to the players, to the coaches, and importantly, the umpires, as we look to see who wins that last ever premiership at Subiaco Oval in 2017. All the very best.
Thanks very much, Gav. I'll kick off. Immediately start with this end. Scully, remarkable run, 19 wins, straight into the second semi-final. What does this weekend look like for you and the playing group?
Look, it's a unique situation to win so many games in a row. It's something that we didn't foresee and plan for, but obviously winning form's good form, and we have obviously earned the right to have the week off, but we understand that doesn't guarantee us anything. So look, we've trained hard this week. We'll have a good hit out on the weekend. We'll go down and watch our reserves. Subiaco play Claremont in the final and support them. And then we'll obviously stay on and watch the South Fremantle Peel game, which should be a cracker of a game.
Thanks, mate. Brett King, filling in for an assistant coach, filling in for Todd. Prelim final last year, Kingy, proven to be a strong side again this season, only team to defeat Subi. What's the feeling like heading into the finals?
Yeah, it's one of excitement. I think it always is this time of year. To give yourself the opportunity to play finals football, I think is fantastic, and the group feels that excitement. But at the same time, very focused around what lies ahead. The core group from last year is still there, and I think they're disappointed with what happens and probably didn't play their best footy in the finals last year. So the focus is really on to play our best footy this time around and give ourselves every opportunity.
Thanks very much. Cam, defending premiers, do you approach this year's finals campaign any differently?
No, we just go out each week and give our best shot and see where that takes us. So we're really pleased to have won one more game than last year in the home and away, and look forward to a ripping game this weekend and see what goes from there.
Thanks very much. And Greg, great turnaround from last season, and Phil Smart's given me this piece of information that all 3 teams in the finals only happened twice in the last 30 years of the club. It's a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, look, we're pretty proud of that. Last year, after only winning the 2 games, it was looking pretty bleak, but I think that influx of senior players coming back into the system was really beneficial, and last year had merit as well in terms of getting games into the kids. So when it all comes together, we can be dangerous. So that's what we're planning to do over the next 4 weeks.
Fantastic. And Bill, fought your way into 5th spot, with a great win last weekend. What can we expect to see from the Falcons?
Oh, look, we've been up and down, and we acknowledge that. Our form early in the season was okay, and we've battled over the second half of the year, but we've got a bit more back out on the park. You know, we're as close, as strong as we can be. We'll just go out there, give out our best shot. It starts this week against Swans, and if our best is good enough, then we'll progress, and if it's not, well, it'll be mothballs. So we'll be having a crack, and look, one thing with Greg's teams and ours over the last couple of years, we've played some really great fixtures, and really looking forward to getting out there on Father's Day, and the can bar will be swinging, I'm sure, out there, and hopefully a good crowd will witness another tight contest.
Fantastic. Open to you guys.
Jared, I'll start with you. The pressure of having such a great home and away season, how you get the week off, so you sit there and you're watching these other games. How do you think your side will handle that after what happened last year, I suppose?
Yeah, look, last year wasn't ideal. Having 2 buys in a row, playing 1 game in 5 weeks wasn't ideal. But I think we're better prepared. We've played a lot more players this year. Debuted 14 players, so the depth is there. We've got haven't been at full strength probably for the last 6 to 8 weeks, and we look at those players coming back. So it actually gives them guys that extra week to get some real solid training in, to make sure that they're right to go in a week's time. And and it's great that our reserves are in the finals as well, because it still applies pressure to the players that played in round 23, and we're still obviously we're not definite on our team yet, but we've got the depth there. So I think we're in a better position.
You don't worry about the loss that's always coming, I suppose, when you're winning so many in a row. You don't think of that hanging over the back of your head?
well, maybe South Fremantle or Peel, they won 8 or 9 on the trot, and look, it's just a number to us. We plan and prepare every week. We don't get caught up in the numbers. Externally, people can talk about it, but internally, we focus from week to week. We reset ourselves, and as I said before, we have given ourselves an opportunity to have a week off to assess both teams that we could be playing, and we've been doing that for a few weeks now. So yeah, look, there's no pressure from that side of things, no.
Yeah.
Injury, or is it just...
No, not at all. So Harley, it's a really good story. He's in a position where he's finished off the season really well, and it looks like, or it is, the fact that, put him away, get him ready for a big pre-season and look forward from 2018 onwards. So it's a great story for a fella who's missed a lot of footy over the last 2 years to be in a position now to get himself right for a good pre-season.
Why not play in the finals to get another couple of games in and hopefully push toward a grand final or a flag or anything like that?
It's probably not a question for me, really, in all honesty. It's a question that you can ask Ross or Ken Withers or one of the doctors there. But it's something that I think we, rather than look at why not, we look at the reasons for him getting to this stage. He's come off a 6-day break if he was to play, and then I think a decision's been made that he's been in really good nick, finished the game off against Essendon strongly, and decided this is the best option for Harley and for the footy club. So it's a good decision. It gives us real clear direction going forward in the finals as well.
In case of deja vu, but do you expect to play 15 Dockers this weekend?
Well, there's 15 available to play because Luke and Brennan Cox won't be playing. So we have to have a look at the mix and see where it sits, but it would be 13 or 14 or so, yeah.
The experience of last year, I mean, you've got that all under control, haven't you? It seems to be, it won't be much of a hassle for you.
I wouldn't think so, no. So look, it's a different group. I think there's only 7 or 8 that played in last year's grand final or final series, so it's a different group, and with that you have different challenges, but we'll follow a similar path.
A mix of Fremantle players, and it is a lot younger than it was this time last year, wasn't it? You had some more experience, more...
Yeah, there's a bit said about Tendai and Matty De Boer and Alex Silvani, but at the same time there's still, Zach Dawson, who's been outstanding with us, and and Jonathan Griffin, when he's been playing for us, has been great, and Nick Subin's there. So I think the quality people we get come back in, they'll drive the standards along with the Peel boys. So we think we've put ourselves in a position, like a lot of other clubs, to have a crack and see where it takes us.
Do you anticipate Norton will play league?
I can tell you later. He'd be very close. Aaron can play in the Colts finals as well, and we've got to look at what's the best matchup for South Fremantle's key forwards, and they've got, they're very, very offensive and strong forward line. So is it best for his football to play in the seniors or to continue in the Colts? He's been wonderful for 5 games. I haven't made that decision at this stage.
If 14 come back in, you played 6 last week, so that's probably 8 changes.
Wow.
Dawson won't go out.
No, Zach won't go out.
What's the message to your local products who are going to get turfed this week?
Well, I read your article during the week, and I think it was fairly inflammatory. But at the same time, that's your job. So, what will it do? We've been able to give a lot of young players the opportunity to play, and they've started to forge careers. I can't tell you who will miss out at this stage, but obviously 26 doesn't go into 22. So how that sits, I think in every side, be it any of the other coaches here's side, there are stories of those that miss out, and whether that be Rory O'Brien, Hayden Matthews, whoever it may be, there's always an unfortunate story. And I think if you're trying to isolate it being a Fremantle standing over us, that's not the case. We're picking a side that we think can play best and do the best it can on the weekend.
Billy, how tough will it be to come from, the elimination final and maybe take it all away?
Oh, look, it's going to be tough, and we know that. We're really not looking any further than this week, but recent history, both at Waffle level and AFL level, say it's not impossible. I'm sure the same question was probably asked of Cam last year and the Bulldogs. So, look, our season has been, a bit hit and miss, but we know that what's gone on up to this point is somewhat irrelevant. And it's really only what we do in terms of our actions and our attitude from here on that determine where we finish. But it's going to be a tough game at Bassendean. But like I said before, we're going to give it our absolute best, as Swans will, I'm sure. And if we win, we win. But we won't leave anything unturned.
How much do the players love you and your finals campaign as coach? Will they be inspired by you?
That's a weird question. The one thing I do know with this group, like, the last month hasn't been strong, but we've just got some fantastic characters within it, and guys like Crowley and Allard and these boys that probably we've been managing through over that period of time. And I've got no doubt going into Sunday in a cutthroat final, I've just got absolute faith that those boys will lift themselves. So we can't wait for Sunday, and there's been a little bit sort of spoken about in terms of entering finals with a lack of momentum. We don't feel like that's the case. Our best footy hasn't been played in that last month, but we just feel like it'll just take 5 or 10 minutes of intensity early to get going, and when that happens, it'll be a cracking game of footy on Father's Day for all the Waffle supporters to come out and have a look at.
How do you sort of not sell, but how do you push that to your players? So, your form hasn't been great, but still like to
Yeah, look, it's not that long ago that we played Peel, who were really, really strong at that point in time, and I thought it was one of our best performances. I think they only have to look to their left and see a Ryan Crowley with all that experience to gain confidence, and look to their right and see a David Allard that's given them so much strength, and a Jamie Bennell that's got enormous experience at the level. Good players stand up in finals, and we've got players with proven track records in big games, and as do West Perth. When I look at this game, and you look at Van Berlo, Black, Nelson, predominantly the ones that are always lifting this team over the line, and they'll be doing that again this week. So that challenge with our senior players versus their quality senior players as well is going to be the tale of the day.
How hungry are those players, the ones that Greg mentioned?
Oh, look, they're all hungry. We trained from November to this point, and we left it right to the last minute to qualify. But we don't go through all that heartache and pain and hard work to treat this without the utmost of respect and know that we need to be at our best. So 3 players there, but we'll pick 22 players who want to win a final and advance. So look, a bit like Greg's team, we know that our form hasn't been that great, but it's judged over 20 weeks, and we won enough games to get here. And we also know that what happened last week doesn't necessarily affect what happens this week. So it's what's between our heads and what we're prepared to sacrifice this week that'll determine whether we win.
Brett, you sit in amongst the 2 teams that most people from the outside consider to be the contenders. Are you sort of a sleeping giant in this whole finals campaign?
I would like to think that we've improved this year, and that's been our focus, since the start of November, and really working through. And we've ticked that box in terms of winning one more game than we did last year in the home and away fixture. But our big miss from last year was the way we performed in the finals. So we'd like to think that if we can play our best footy, then our best footy is good enough, and that's the focus of the group for the coming weeks.
Liam Ryan, if he doesn't get selected by an AFL club, would that be derelict in recruiters' duties to pick a decent player? He's done pretty much everything, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know Subiaco will be happy because I'll keep him. But look, he's a fantastic talent. As I've stated many a times, he's come a long way. Not only obviously on the field with his commitment to training, dealing with close attention week in, week out. Being Bernie Naylor medalist now, he's got more attention on him for a guy of his size. So he's learned a lot in the last 2 years, and more importantly, he's learnt to adapt to the rigours of training and commitment and work and all those things. So he's come a long way, and look, if an AFL club doesn't take him this year, well, as I've stated, he'll never go. He's ready to go.
Greg, you've been at Swans for 10 years. What does the club need to replace you as a coach? And what advice would you give an incoming coach about what you need to do to succeed at this one?
I think our club is firmly embedded in the community. That's what we base our entire club on, and that's why we're probably most proud of getting the 3 teams in for the first time in a long time, because it shows that we're actually developing kids from within our zone really hard, and that includes the Pilbara and Bunbury as well. But we're spending so much time getting our kids through our local zone and then coming up and playing Colts footy and then funneling through to the reserves footy as well, and then progressing through to league level. I think our whole system at Waffle level is fantastic and it's producing great results. If you look at this year alone with our 16s winning the carnival, our 18s finishing equal top, WA beating Victoria in the state game. I think 7.5 of the 22 All-Australians come from WA as well. I think the captain's in there, the Coleman medalist is there as well. So I think the Waffle system provides a great grounding, and our club is just part of that, where we're deeply embedded in the community. And when you're talking about the next person to come in that's taking over, it just someone that's got a really deep community focus that is going to spend a lot of time with the Indigenous community. We've got a massive percentage of Indigenous boys that come through our system as well. So they're going to have to spend a hell of a lot of time in the community dealing with not only the players coming through, but developing young men as well. So that's the beauty of our club. It's the beauty of the Waffle system, and hopefully over the next 10 to 20 years, the Waffle system survives in that same format, because it just provides real strength within the community.
I know you touched on it before, but what has been the major difference this year, apart from those senior players like Crowley and Ellard, but between 2 games last year and 10 this year? So a massive turnaround. Was it buy-in by all involved in the club?
Look, I think it just came together reasonably quickly, mate. When you got the quality of Crowley, Ellard, Galt, Bennell, Clancy Pearce, Ellis come into your list, it helps enormously, and it certainly did early. We haven't been able to keep that group of players on the ground for long periods, which has been a management issue in itself. But when you put that quality of player in, and then you add to it the fact that the quality of character of all those boys is of such a high level, then that's driven the club forward. And obviously the games that we were able to get into, Jesse Turner and Therese Stewart and these young kids that are coming through, the games that we were able to get into them last year has held them in better stead for this year. And then you put better players around them that are able to hold them together when the times get tough on field. It came together pretty quickly, to be honest.
So captains tell names that David Ellard has missed a fair bit of footy either through injury or suspension. You're confident that they'll be leading from the front on Sunday?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's been our issue over the last 4 weeks, and I think if you talk to any of the boys up here, then continuity player list is really, really important, and we haven't been able to get that through the Riggio suspension and then Krause being out and Ellard being out. But we think that we've put it all back together at the right time, and I'd be expecting on Sunday that we'll be at our very, very best, and we play a team that, we've, as Bill said, we've just had these amazing games every time we play. Even last year it was close in, I think, round 23, up at Aranda Joondalup. The 2 games this year have been by 5 points and by 9 points, so you're almost guaranteed of a really close contest. But yeah, I'm really confident we're going to step out on the weekend and give a really, really strong display.